Hey there, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day, because I sure am. Today, I feel incredibly happy, and I want to share that joy with you. So, as a special gift, I have a story just for you, a story that will take you on a journey, one filled with mystery, suspense, and maybe even a little bit of fear. But before we begin, if you love stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss one. Now sit back, relax, and let your imagination take over. Enjoy the story. It was the first day of school, and I was already regretting my decision to wake up early. I was tired, my hair was a mess, and I was pretty sure I had spilled cereal on my shirt. But hey, new year, new class, right? When I walked into the classroom, I noticed something strange. The teacher wasn't there yet, but the walls, they were covered with eyes. Big, wide, staring eyes. It felt like they were following me. It was so weird, I almost left. Then, the door creaked open. In walked Mr. Thompson, the new teacher. He was tall, wore glasses, and had a smile that was just too big. I swear it looked like it could stretch to the back of his head. "Welcome, class," Mr. Thompson said, his voice too cheerful. "I'm Mr. Thompson, your new teacher." I glanced around, trying to avoid the creepy eyes on the walls. But then, I looked at him, and that's when I saw it. His eyes, they were huge, bigger than any human eyes I had ever seen. It was like his eyes were staring at me, but not in a normal way. It was like they could see through me. That afternoon, something really weird happened. I was sitting in the front row because, I always end up sitting there when Mr. Thompson asked us to do a fun activity. He said, "Let's have a staring contest." Staring contest? I thought. Why would we do that in class? But everyone else seemed to think it was a great idea. We all stared at Mr. Thompson as he smiled even bigger, if that was even possible. His eyes were so wide now, they almost looked like they were popping out of his face. I started to get nervous. I looked at my friend Jane, and she looked just as confused as I felt. But we both started the staring contest anyway. And that's when it happened. Mr. Thompson's eyes blinked, but they blinked in slow motion. Like really slow motion. His eyes closed and then opened again, but it took forever. It was like his eyes were staring into my soul slowly. And then, when his eyes opened, he winked at me. A wink? By the end of the week, something strange was happening. I couldn't look anywhere in the school without seeing Mr. Thompson's eyes. On the bus, eyes. In the hallway, eyes. In the cafeteria, eyes. It was like Mr. Thompson had eyes everywhere. I looked at my reflection in the mirror once, and I swear I saw his eyes staring back at me. They followed me. The weird part was, no one else seemed to notice. Everyone in class was perfectly normal, laughing, joking, even smiling at Mr. Thompson's creepy winks. But every time I looked at him, his eyes were getting bigger. I started to feel like I was going crazy. Then came the final straw. One afternoon, during class, I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up and said, "Mr. Thompson, what's going on with your eyes?" The whole class went silent. All eyes were on me, and I immediately regretted asking the question. Mr. Thompson smiled, too wide again, and said, "You've been asking the wrong question. You should be asking, what's going on with your eyes?" I blinked. "Mine," I said, pointing to my own eyes. "What do you mean by that?" He didn't answer. He just stood there, his eyes getting bigger and bigger until they were almost huge. Then he winked again. That's when I realized it. My eyes were starting to change. They were growing wider, and I felt them growing stronger, like they could see through walls. And every time I blinked, it felt slower. I stared at my hands. This couldn't be happening. After that day, I couldn't go back to school. The eyes wouldn't stop. I saw them in the mirrors, on the TV, in my dreams. I tried to leave the school behind, but every time I closed my eyes, Mr. Thompson's eyes were there. And every time I opened them, I felt something watching me. Maybe it's just me, but now, whenever I look in the mirror, my eyes seem a little bit bigger, and I'm pretty sure I can see someone staring right through me.
New vocabulary? Creepy. Strange in a frightening way. Wink, to close one eye quickly and then open it again, wide. Having a large distance from one side to the other. Blink, to close and open your eyes quickly. Soul, the part of you that is connected to your feelings and thoughts. Eerie, unusual and frightening. Reflection, the image you see in a mirror or water.